he's basically talked about this project since I've met him. And it's one of those things where, you have mates that have their dream gig and the thing that they've been thinking about for a long time, but, and you go along with it and you sort of learn about it, but it's not often that they actually end up doing it, So when it came closer and closer and it was looking more and more real, it coincidentally was on the set of another movie I was doing called The Next 3 Days. And so we talked about it again, and it was getting a bit more specific, and we talked about the type of character he wanted, because he's obsessed with martial arts films from the 70s, and that's just not my thing, I mean, my knowledge of that stuff sort of begins and ends with Bruce Lee films, really. But, key thing is that Bobby's a really, really beautiful man. He's a really nice guy, and I think we've got a really strong friendship. So, I kept saying to him, me being there changes the dynamic and all that sort of stuff, and it's going to be a bit, odd in some instances and everything. But, he calls me his big brother. We always talk about, artistic things together, and he just said, I really need you to be there. So I'm here. He's on this set, and he's been on it for 45, 46 days. He still has the respect of the crew. They listen when he talks, and they do exactly what he says. He's a quiet champion, but he's definitely a champion. The character's been a number of different people, Right now, it's some sort of combination of Prussian cavalry officer, Clint Eastwood and Dirty Harry and the outlaw Josie Wales, and the latter work of Orson Welles, I suppose. But, I wanted the character to be grounded in something, so I did a little bit of research on the Opium Wars, and I was actually, quite frankly, disgusted with what I found. I had no idea that the British Empire flooded China with opium in order to control the populace and get a better trade balance. So that was a bit of a shock. But I brought that to his attention, and we've sort of used that. Suffice it to say that when you first meet him, in his mind, it's day one of being in a prison, and he will hide in plain sight. He does something extremely violent when people first see him in this village, and that way he ensures that people just leave him alone, and then he can get on with what he's here to do. It's about the emperor trying to spread the wealth so the children of the various villages are better looked after. Now, unfortunately, he's in a situation where there's a lot of warlords and sub-warlords and gangs and clans and all that sort of stuff who really don't care less about the urchin children. And if there's wealth to be spread around, they want it to come to them. It is a part kung fu movie, part fantasy movie, all these things combined, and some aspects of it are very much spaghetti western, So it's a strange combo.